Welcome back, Daz Studio enthusiasts. This is not from this world, and I want to welcome you to my tutorial series. Now, today I thought it would be fun to kind of show you how I would make an X-ray, like what Milica is holding here. So we're going to be using Daz Studio to set this up, and then we're going to go into GIMP to kind of edit the picture and then bring it back into the Daz Studio program for our final render. Now, in order to make this picture, which I think is pretty cool, Milica is a nurse in this scene and she is going to be looking at this X-ray. What we're going to do is we're going to need to begin by making a plane. Okay, to start the X-ray, what we want to do is we want to make a plane. So I'm going to go up to my primitives. I'm going to select the plane. I don't think it matters in this case how many divisions you have, but I kind of have it set up for 200. I'm just going to hit accept, and we're going to create this plane. I'm going to raise the plane up and then position it so that Milica is holding this. We're going to rotate, shrink it down. Now we're going to just kind of roughly have this in position so we can play around with the plane. Now the first thing I'm going to do with the plane is we're going to add the picture of the skull. So I need to save this, and then I'm going to open up a new instance of Daz because we're going to make a picture for that plane. Alright, so I just happen to have a skeleton, so I'm going to search for a skeleton in my content library. Here is my skeleton, so let's just get the skeleton in position. I'm going to take the skeleton, drop his arms down, and let's zoom in so that we have kind of just the skull and the torso. And after I do this, I want to make the background black, so I'm going to go to the environment, select my backdrop, just make this black, hit OK. And now we're going to render this picture. Okay, that's not bad, so I'm going to save this. So I just saved it here as a skeleton. Now we're going to get out of Daz Studio. I'm going to open up where I saved the picture. Here it is. Let's just open it with GIMP. And in GIMP, we don't have to work too much on this. All we're going to do is go to the filters, select the filters, go to edge detect, and we have several options. I'm going to select edge, and what that does is it just defines the edge of whatever picture you have. We'll hit OK. Now with these filters in GIMP, we can get a variety of different variations of this X-ray. So using the edge detect, we can go to Laplace, which may actually look more like a real X-ray. It just kind of tones down the color a little bit. We can use neon, or we could use Sobel, and each one of these you can see kind of changes this slightly. So these filters are pretty cool. Image gradient. So, you can add filters to this X-ray for more sci-fi or something to just add a little different look to your picture. But once we're happy with that, we're just going to save it by going File, Export As, and I just hit Export, Replace, Export one more time. This overwrites your original picture, and now we have this X-ray. Okay, let's get out of GIMP and go back to Daz Studio. And once I'm in Daz, let's just open up our Milica picture again. All right, now we have our picture. We're going to create the X-ray by selecting the plane, coming down to surfaces, and in the surface tab, we're going to select the plane under base and just add the picture of our skeleton to the base color. So I'm just going to click on that, go to browse, and then here is our picture. I'm just going to select it, and now the picture is on the plane. I'm also going to select emission and make sure that our emission is set to white. And then we're going to add this same picture. So the skeleton JPEG is going to be now positioned on there. All right, so now we have the X-ray kind of set up. Let's do an iRay preview. And we kind of have this set up. Now, X-ray film is transparent. I'm going to select the plane and just type in opacity under the surface tab. And we're going to cut this opacity down. Let's cut it down to like 60. And all we have to do now is position it in Milica's hands. So I'm going to go back to texture because it's easier to work with. My computer's not as loud. And let's just position this X-ray in her hands and make it look like she's looking at it. Okay, now once I have that in position, I'm just going to set up the rest of it. I've got her in a doctor's office here. So it looks like she's looking at the X-ray. I have some spotlights set up, and we can run a preview to see what this looks like. And I'm pretty happy with that. That looks good. I like how it looks like she's looking through it, and I've got it kind of positioned so she's holding it, looking at this X-ray. Pretty cool little technique. Doesn't take very long, but you get some really cool results. All right, so that about does it. I just wanted to show you this little trick to make an X-ray with GIMP and some of the filters in GIMP. Play around with those filters a little bit. I'm going to have a tutorial on what more of those filters can do, but test them out, check them out, see what they can do. And then use opacity. I love the opacity option in Daz Studio. It's so cool. So now we have this ready to go. We're going to render up a picture of Milica the cutie and get her diagnosing some kind of medical problem. All right. So if you have any comments about this, how do you use opacity? How do you use GIMP's filters? Let me know. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, give me some comments. All right, until next time, have a wonderful day and happy rendering.